of Olives here, the whole area called Gethsemane. What's Gethsemane? This passage, please, for the others to pass through. What Gethsemane means? It means olive oil press. In Hebrew, it's called Gat Shmanim. Gat Shmanim means olive press. You know, in the olden days, Mount of Olives was full with olive trees.
Okay.
And when they picked the olives, they used to bring it down to the area here where the olive presses were. They press the olives and make olive oil. That's why they call it the area of the olive presses. Now here we have the Garden of Gethsemane. In this garden you can see 8 olive trees left, ancient olive trees. They are about 2,000 years old, existing from the time of Jesus, and they still bear olives, they still give fruit unto today. According to the local tradition, olive trees never die, as long as you take good care of them. Look at the trunk of the olive trees, the big one. It looks like dead trunk. But it's not dead, it's still alive. Branches keep growing from the trunk. And the roots of these olive trees goes underground for about 12 meters underground. So that's mean, if these olive trees that were not here at the time of Jesus, it could be the same roots. And how they examined the age of the olive trees during the 18th century, the British, they came and they cut one of the trunk of the olive trees and they found in the trunk circles. From those circles in the trunk, they estimate the age of the olive trees. They say they are about 2,000 years old. Now what's happened in this spot where we are? Jesus had the Last Supper in Mount Zion. I pointed to you, remember? Then he brought his disciples Thursday night after the Last Supper. He came to Gethsemane. And he gathered his disciples near an olive presses here. Across the street, caves. Olive presses, maybe they were in those caves. So when he gathered his disciples near the olive presses, he came up here to pray by himself. 3 disciples retraced him. Peter,
John,
James, and John.
Yes.
When they retraced him here, he left them under one of these olive trees. And he went farther from them to pray by himself, saying, Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, it's not my will, but yours be done. He came twice to the disciples. He found them still sleeping. He said to them, can't you watch with me at 1 hour to pray? My hour is come, and my soul is sorrowful to death. Then he went the 3rd time to pray, saying the same words, Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. In that moment, when Jesus was praying here, the servants of the high priest, they were looking for Jesus. But they don't know him, they never met him before. One of the disciples called Judas Iscariot, he volunteered himself to show Jesus to the servants of the high priest. And Judas said to the servants of the high priest, I know the one you are looking for. Let's go down to Gethsemane, and we might find him praying in Gethsemane area. And this is my sign to you. If we find him praying, I'm going to kiss him. So that's me. The one I kiss in Gethsemane will be the one that you are looking for. So Jesus came with the servants of the high priest. He found Jesus here, and Judas came and betrayed him by a kiss. After the betrayal, they arrested him and they took him to Caiaphas' house. We will go there next after here. He spent the night in the prison there. Then Friday morning was taken to be judged by Pontius Pilate. Now in the garden, we have a church here. It was built in the year 1924. The first church was built by the Byzantine 4th century. The second one, 12th century, by the Crusaders. And the Catholic, they built this church in 1924. It has three names. It's called the Church of Gethsemane because the church built in the Garden of Gethsemane. It's called the Church of the Agony because inside the church, at the back and the front end, you will see the rock, remains of the Rock of Agony, where Jesus prayed and where he had his agony. And the third name, it's called the Church of All Nations, because 16 nations donated money to build the church. So the architecture of the church, when you go inside, you will see 12 mosaic domes. Each dome representing one nation, one country. And 3 mosaic pictures in the front representing 3 countries. And the crown of thorn around the Rock of Agony representing one country. So 16 nations. And the church from inside, when you look at the windows, are alabaster from Italy. When you go into the church, you find the church, it's dark. A little bit dark. Why? Because when Franciscan built the church, they did not make it very bright with that spotlight and, because they want pilgrims to remember the sad moments took place here with Jesus. So that's why when you go inside, you have to be silent, enjoy looking at the church, the Rock of Agony. Feel free to take pictures if you want to. And afterwards you come out and we go around.